You're listening to the Rebel podcast with Ruairí Carson. Tá sé bhgéisteach leis an fód cruailí Rebel le Ruairí Carson.
Since a 4-year-old boy from Hallmark County on the Lee came Big Georgie Ice. Head man in the boat Joyce Clan at 6'1.5", and his first real fight at 16, 40 or more he would have. He'd leave a face, a hospital case, from his knuckles bare in intensive care. 50 laps around the track with a lorry battery on his back, shadow boxing and throwing slaps. It's Big Joe Joyce. He steeps his hands in petrol there like rocks. He'd leave your face looking like a butcher's block. You'll be praying for the leaders out of luck. If Big Joe hits you a box, only the bravest of the brave would stand toe to toe with the Hulk Joyce, Big Joe. He fought in Ireland and in England, 17 stone in his prime, put a head like the Elephant Man's, his army were his hands. One-on-one belts and banks, no foul, no weapons and no guns. Never made upon his word, he made front page of Sunday World, and every fight the man has heard of Big Joe Joyce. He steeps his hands in petrol till they're like rocks. He'd leave your face looking like a butcher's block. You'd be praying for the leaders out of luck. If Big Joe hits you a box, only the bravest of the brave would stand toe to toe with the Hulk Joyce, Big Joe. So Joyce is the name, and fighting is the game, and Big Joe will be honoured in Bare Knuckles Hall of Fame. His sons Davy, John and Joe give any man a fair go. YouTube tapes, throwing shapes with Paddy Lurch above and most. No man will ever hold the coat of Big Joe Joyce. He steeps his hands in petrol there like rocks. Leave your face looking like a butcher's block, and he'll be praying for no leaders out of luck. If Big Joe hits you a box, and only the bravest of the brave will stand toe to toe with the Hulk Joyce, Big Joe. With the Hulk Joyce, Big Joe.
Well, folks, how you doing? Good afternoon. This is Rebel Sundays on the Rebel podcast with myself, Ro. live here on, principally we're live on YouTube live stream, plus we're live on Facebook live, on the Rebel Podcast Facebook page, also on my own personal Ruairí Carson Facebook page. So no excuse, folks, not to get along and join in this afternoon. So any requests at all you have, any wee shout-outs, anything you want, let me know. First things first, definitely a better result this afternoon there, folks. So it is for us, have to say, 4-1. Finish up, hat trick from Moy. Also Nicham getting on the scoreboard. So I say there'll still be a few Neil Lennon haters after this result, but he hasn't had a great week, folks. And just remember one thing: the guy is he's only human. So he is. Hold on, I turn this down because I've the volume is up on my where's it? The volume is turned up on my tablet here. 14, and it's getting a bit of feedback on my ears there. Right, there we go. Right, yeah. So folks, say Neil Lennon's been getting a fair bit of stick this week, and I have to say, like, from everybody's human, folks. That's all I can say. Is like the man's a Celtic man through and through, and what I witnessed this week, some of the hate and vile bitterness towards the man for what he's done for this club is just disgusting. That's all I'm going to say. And somebody is like, I know you're annoyed, but somebody should really be ashamed of yourselves. There's no other explanation. As for him wearing a poppy today, I don't really get it, folks. It's as Niall earlier on posted out, I was talking to him and on a chat, and he says he didn't wear it in his first tenure. Why is he wearing it today? Don't know, maybe it's pressure from the board to save face from basically the team that worn them. In the day, I'm sure it's little or no odds than Neil Lennon where he wears fucking poppy or not. I don't really care. To me, it doesn't really bother me. I wouldn't wear one. I wouldn't support anyone that wears one, but well, maybe I'm supporting Neil Lennon today, but say, if he wants to wear a poppy, let the guy wear a poppy. Who gives a shit? But just won a match today in the SPL 4-1. That's the main thing, folks. All this here bitters and hatred, ways up, please. Right, so we're going to get on with the music here for you. Folks, this is Rebel Sundays. Welcome along. Myself, Ro. Today's guest will have come on 3 o'clock, all the way from the rebel county of Cork. Miles Gaffney, folks. I'm so honestly privileged to have this man on the show today. Cannot believe he's coming on. He's a big hitter on the folk and rebel scene in the south. He's been nominated 2 times for a Grammy Award, folks, which not many people can say that there. He's won the Irish Folk Album of the Year in 2017. Not a lot of people can say that either. So we'll have him on the show today. We're going to play, that was the first song we opened up with was one of Miles' songs, Big Joe. And it's all about the legendary Irish bare-knuckle Irish traveller, Joe Joyce. So cracking me tune, that's why I kicked off the show with. So yeah, we'll go on to the YouTube here first and see what we have tuned in. So let's see. Michael Bolton, well, mate, what the crack? Well, Mick, how you doing, son? Dylan, hail. Hugh O'Neill, hi T, bro. Hail up the Celts. Hugh O'Neill saying there's no sound. So, folks, just what I do is basically, whenever if you see straight away when I come on, there isn't sound straight away. It's nothing to do with well, maybe once before I hadn't turned the volume up, which was my mistake, but normally I'll come on for the first minute or so and just make sure I'm sharing the streams and stuff on the 2 laptops here, and I won't have started the show yet. You'll probably just see a picture of me, so if there's no sound, don't be worrying. It's not I haven't turned the sound on, it's just basically I'm getting ready to start share everything so everybody knows what's going on and etc. So that's why. So if there's no sound at the start, that's the reason why there's no sound. I'm just sharing everything. Then as soon as you hear the theme tune, the David Bowie Rebel song coming in, that's when we're ready to go yet. So hope that clears things up for you, Hugh. Pedro Campbell, hello, Ro, nice t-shirt, yes. We have a glass Nevin. Hopefully may get a bit of the lads on this afternoon on the show. Aileen McKenna, hi all. Justin McQuillan, afternoon, Ro. The song you played last week, Through the Eyes of Joseph Mary Plunkett, what was the name? Who sang it? It's been wrecking me all week. Yeah, so obviously we had Ronan McDonald on the show last week, folks, and it's from their new album. It's going to be released. It's actually released at the minute. So it is the Shanachie Sessions, Songs of the Land. And it's basically from a group of all Derry musicians that came together once again for the 3rd time on one of Ronan's collaborations. And that their song there is called Joseph Mary. So it's sung by Sean McCafferty, absolutely fantastic singer from Derry. It was written by a girl called Adana Barrett from, I think, Offaly she's from, but don't quote me on it there. So she put the words to it and she sent it to Sean McCafferty. He put the music to it and actually sung the song. And as far as what Ronan told me was that was the whole reason for doing that album. Once he heard that song, he says, that's it, we're recording this album. So there you go. That's going to be, if you contact the Ronan McDonald on Facebook, Justin, if you're looking at that album, it's Songs of the Land, the Shanaghy Sessions, and I cannot wait to hear the rest of that album once it's out. So, so who up next? Celine McKeown, good afternoon, Rory. Well, Celine, how you doing? Michael Bolton, James McLean song, We Won't Bow Down. Yeah, we'll make that Damien Quinn song on later on. I think it is on Spotify here. So, for the day it's in it, we'll definitely get it on. And especially for all the Damien Quinn haters, who I know will have a few listening here. Right, so up next, obviously I said this week, folks, we're going to play a couple of songs from the new album from Rebel Roots, Jerk Lacken and Sticks Doherty. So yeah, they had a great stream on there last night on Grace's Glasgow page. So they did. Let's just see first if there's any messages here on the Facebook stream before we head on. Let's see. Right, who we have? Hugh McKenna. Well, Ro, could you play Back Home in Derry from Kissel Coil? Yes, so I'm going to be playing some stuff off Krista's album as well. Yep, so I'll play out one there for you today. Hugh, not a problem. Anthony, well, Tony, what's the crack? Keep it rocking, Ro. Good to see you on. Tony, I haven't seen you about in ages, mate. Phil Coleman, good man, Ro, from Phil Coleman from the Potters Thursday Club. What else do we have here? I think that's them all, is it? What else do we have there? There was a wee message there from Stephen Finlay. Craig and Craig. Plastic Balls by Gary Ogue. Is that on Spotify? Do you know, is it? I'm going to wee check and see. Craig, you'll see. Right, so Stephen Finley's looking grace for his wee lady. So we might do that there for the second song actually off the Rebel Roots album. Yeah, so next song we're going to play is Ovida Zen to Cross McGlen. Brilliant song, of course, written by Jerry Glacken, George Da. And I'll just read out the forward to this album. It's been written by Jerry. Hopefully I can see it in this dark room here. Rebel Roots, the hottest rebel duo on the scene, featuring the velvet tones of Jared and the musical magic of Eamon Sticks from the Irish Brigade. The very best in Irish folk, rebel and Celtic anthems, Jerry Glacken. So no favouritism there at all from Jerry, so there isn't. So here's the first song we're going to play this afternoon from Rebel Roots, his new album, folks. Jared sent me up this week, so cheers, Jared, much appreciated. Here we go. This is Ovida Zen to Cross McGlen from Rebel Roots on this Rebel Sunday.
Feeder's End to Cross McGlen, farewell to Carrickmore. I've seen enough of Ireland boys, and I won't be back for more, and I won't be back for more. The recruiting sergeant, he told me, son, army life is fine, but he did not mention mortar bombs our bloody claymore mines. So I'd Feeder's End to Cross McGlen, farewell to Carrickmore. I have seen enough of Ireland boys, and I won't be back for more, and I won't be back for more. Well, he told me of the German girls on the Reaper van at night, but the only crack in South Armagh comes from an Armalite. So I'd Feeder's End to Cross McGlen, farewell to Carrickmore. I have seen enough of Ireland boys, and I won't be back for more, and I won't be back for more. So I spent some time on Toomridge line, where I thought I knew no fear, till a van bomb parked outside our base, brought the barracks in round our rears. So I'd Feeder's End to Cross McGlen, farewell to Carrickmore. I've seen enough of Ireland boys, and I won't be back for more, and I won't be back for more. So farewell at last to West Belfast, the market and the falls. We quickly got the message there, it was written on the walls. Breath out, so I'd Feeder's End to Cross McGlen, farewell to Carrickmore. I have seen enough of Ireland boys, and I won't be back for more, and I won't be back for more. So all you young lads, though in England you'll be signing on the brew, well, stay from the IRA, and they won't bother you. So I'd Peter's End to Crossmaglen, farewell to Carrickmore. I have seen enough of Ireland, boys, and I won't be back for more. So I'd Peter's End to Crossmaglen, farewell to Carrickmore. I have seen enough of Ireland, boys, and I won't be back for more. No, I won't be back for more.
Yep, there we go. Avita's End across McLean. There is the brilliant tune from Rebel Roots from their new album, Rebel Roots, the Lockdown Sessions, live and uncut. And of course, you want to get a copy of that album. Jared is sending them out in the post every other day. And of course, Eamon is doing deliveries as well, all around Tyrone, Strabane, Lifford, wherever you want to. So just give the wee lads a shout on the Rebel Roots Facebook page, or Jared or Eamon themselves, and they'll get you a copy. You can pay for it by PayPal. It'll be sent out. So you go. We're going to play another song off that as well later on for you. And of course, as I mentioned on Facebook last night, we're going to be playing a few tunes today from the new album as well. From Chris the Coil, from the Streets of Free Derry, has all your few requests for a couple of them songs. They'll be on as well this afternoon. So, right, who else do we have here? Jared Glackner, cheers, Ro. My dad's not best at all. Yeah, Jared, yeah. Eamon Bradley, how's it going, Ro? Keeping well, better result today. Yes, mate, definitely has a better result, but sadly, I don't think it's going to be good enough for all the Lenny haters that we have here on the go at the minute. Paul Sheeran, hello from Limerick. Ro, well, Paul, good to see you on, mate. Tune in again once again this afternoon. Right, so I put a post up this morning there on Facebook, folks, right, about, obviously, I was watching the first half of the match, and I seen straight away, what the fuck, Neil Lennon wearing a poppy, what's this all? Oh, of course, all the abuse came come flying in. And obviously, I put a post up myself, about it. But I've just seen a few comments are coming in from a few people while I'm on the air here now. So I'm not going to get into it, because I know it's going to turn into an arguing and slobbering match due to the people who have commented. You know, the Jamie Bryson of West Belfast. You know who you are, mate. So I'm going to do this here one, because obviously we know at this time of year, every single year, James McLean, the old, gets the grief from all the fans in England and stuff when he basically comes out and just doesn't wear a poppy on his shirt, and it gets the same amount of abuse every year and stuff, whatever. And I mean, I think there was a story this week, the Mandy Matic, the Man United player, and it just goes to show you how two different stories who are exactly the same can be portrayed. It was like, the Mandy Matic gives the reason why he won't wear a poppy during the games, and pours his heart out and all of here. But whenever it's James McLean, bitter sectarian thug from Northern Ireland, McLean, Irish supporter, won't wear a poppy, blah blah blah, from the same papers, you know. It's a joke. So yep, so Damien Quinn penned a song there a couple of years ago. I think it was last year or the year before. James McLean, he won't lie down. So I've seen a few people have asked this already. So we'll do this one for Mickey Bolton, who's asked me to play it. So this is James McLean, he won't lie down. And of course, it's all about all the abuse that's aimed towards James every year that he gets for not wearing a poppy, and he's just right not to wear one. It's his own choice. After all, he comes from Craig and Derry. And I have to say, Adrian Durham, who does the drive show on TalkSport, is an absolute balloon. We can give the man the time of the day, and he's actually the reason why I would turn that show off whenever them two come on. Don't mind Darren Goff, but Adrian Durham, but he came off with a very, very good point on the show. I think it was this week. I seen a video of it, and he's basically defending James McLean for not wearing one. And his whole thing was, listen, this is what happened. If I came from his area in Creggan and Derry, and the British Army came in and done this here to my people, I would be quietly aggrieved as well, and I probably wouldn't wear one. So for once, Adrian Durham actually has a point, and that's not very often you hear me say it there. So it's Damien Quinn, James McLean, he won't bow down, especially my good friend Mickey Bolton. Here we go.
Like James McLean, we won't bow down to a British army or an English crown. I'll wear no poppy upon my breast, just a three-leaf shamrock upon my chest. In Derry streets you shot them down, 14 were murdered by the British Crown. In Belfast City you did the same, killed innocent children, you showed no shame. Like James McLean, we won't bow down to a British army or an English crown. I'll wear no poppy upon my breast, just a three-leaf shamrock upon my chest. You split our land with an English border, with your tanks and guns you came to slaughter. But our people rose and fought you back. Now it's time you left us, give our country back. Like James McLean, we won't bow down to a British army or an English crown. I'll wear no poppy upon my breast, just a three-leaf shamrock upon my chest. In November time, the poppy scene, worn by presenters on TV screens, refused to wear it, face racial chants, with threats to kill at a football match. Like James McLean, we won't bow down to a British army or an English crown. I wear no poppy upon my breast, just a three-leaf shamrock upon my chest. Like James McLean, we won't bow down to a British army or an English crown. I'll wear no poppy upon my breast, just a three-leaf shamrock upon my chest. Like James McLean, we won't bow down to a British army or an English crown. I'll wear no poppy upon my breast, just a three-leaf shamrock upon my chest, just a three-leaf shamrock upon my chest.
There's Mr. Rebel Sundays himself, Damien Quinn, with the James McLean song He Won't Bow Down. Fantastic production again there from Damien, have to say, folks. Oh, there's another bit of Damien coming there on Spotify, starting on its own, so it is. We'll maybe get a bit more Damien, or maybe Justice on later on, so we will. Right, we'll check out the more comments here on Facebook coming through. Who do we have? Let's see. Right, anybody else on the live chat on YouTube, folks? So, feel free, folks, to join in if there's any songs you want, any requests, anything this afternoon, get them in and we'll get them on. We're here at 4 o'clock, and I say from 3 o'clock onwards, we're going to have two original songs from Miles Gaffney, brilliant producer, songwriter, rebel singer from County Cork, folks. We're going to be having a yarn with Miles for maybe 30-40 minutes, maybe. We'll see what happens during the interview, but he's standing by waiting to come on. So it's earlier on in the stream, somebody asked me if I should play some Irish Brigade. I'm trying to find out who it was, what song they asked for, but I can't see it right at the minute, so we'll go to this one anyway. It's I think it's from the last album the Irish Brigade brought out. It's just love their live stuff, and this one was recorded obviously in the place at the Graces in Glasgow, where obviously Jared and Sticks were playing on the Facebook page last night. Probably should have been playing over there live. I don't know if it was this weekend or not. There you go. But anyway, yeah, this is definitely one of the best songs on this album. I have to say the wee solo bit in the end from Anya, and this song just gives you shivers when you listen to this. So this is the Irish Brigade. We're continuing on live at Graces with The Foggy Dew.
Was down
glen on an Easter morn to a city fair rode I. Well, there are but lines of marching men in squadrons passed me by. No pipe did hum, no bottle to rum, did sound out its loud tattoo. But the Angelus bell or the Liffey swell rang out in the foggy tune. Over right proudly and high over Dublin town, we hung out our flag of war. It was better to die beneath an Irish sky than Sugla or Sugmar. Oh, and from the plains of Royal Mead, brave men did gallop them through, while the tannin sons with their long-range guns sailed in through the foggy June. Well, the night fell black and the rifle crack made perfidious Albion ring. Neath the lead and rain, 7 tongues of flame did shine o'er a ring of steel. By each shining blade a prayer was said to Ireland, her son who had been true. And when morning broke still, the war flag shook out its folds in the bottom dew. Here we go! Oh, it was England who bade our wild geese go, that small nations might be free. On their lonely graves are my Sioux lads wave on the shore of the great North Sea. Oh, had they died by Pearse's side, or fought with Cabroo, their names you could keep where the peninsula in the shades of the foggy dew were taken. My heart with grief was sore, for I parted then with valiant men, of them I will see no more. On to and fro in my dreams they go, I kneel and I pray for you, for slavery fled, oh the rebel dead, when you fell in the foggy dew. Foggy dew!
There you go, folks. There's the brilliant Irish Brigade with the Foggy Dew live from Grace's there in Glasgow, where of course Jordan Sticks put on a great show on their Facebook page last night. Must be very, very frustrating for all these bar owners, folks. All over the place in a minute, just not to be able to basically open and give obviously the singers and everybody else a trade and stuff to do. You know, it's it's hard for everybody, I'm sure. Yeah, so let's see a few more wee comments here we'll have. I can just see that a few. Well, Christina, what's the crack? Hello, darling, you too. Sean McCrory, afternoon, no, hope you're well, mate. Eamon Bradley, our tune, this is definitely what a tune indeed. Scott Temperley, will you play Aaron Longs to Be Free? Right, let's see if we can dig that one there out of Eamer's album later on, mate. Not a problem. So what are we going to do next? Yeah, folks, so we're live here on YouTube this afternoon. I can see a few comments coming through here. Try and get the numbers up. You can share the stream for me. We're also live on my personal page, and I've shared the stream to the podcast page on Facebook as well. So if you want to comment, please do. Let me just check this here. What somebody's put in there. Right, God, see, people send me stuff here, these pictures. Obviously, this poppy thing today has railed a few people up this afternoon. Obviously, it does seem to get people railed up and pissed off for whatever reason, I don't know. But it's over my head, like so it is. Right, so what we're going to do next, I see Christina is on there commenting. So she is. Right, so we said we're going to do a couple of songs of her new album today, folks. Yep, Krista Coyle from the Streets of Free Derry. So Hugh McKenna asked me earlier on there in the stream, can I play Back Home in Derry. So brilliant song written by Bobby Sands. Of course, got the Christy Moore, who's been made the song pretty famous. So always like to hear a real Derry song, a real Derry sort of singer. And there's no more sort of, what's the way of putting this to Sultan Christine, more common and Millie voiced a Derry singer than Krista. I think I just stuck my foot on there, but anyway, this is Krista Coyle from her album From the Streets of Free Derry. Back Home in Derry, spicy for Hugh McKenna.
Australia bound if we didn't all drown, and the marks of our fetters we carry. In the rusty iron chain we sighed for waves, our good women we left in sorrow. As the mainsails unfurled and the curses we hurled on the English and thought of tomorrow. Down below decks they were lying, and old Tordy scream woken out of a dream by a vision of old Rob dying. And the sunburn is cruel as we dished out the gruel. Dan O'Connor is down with the fever. 60 rebels today bound for Botany Bay. How many will reach the receiver? To live out his whole life in slavery, where the climate is raw and that gun makes a law. neither wind nor rain cared to break. 20 years have gone by and I've ended my bond. My comrade's ghost walked beside me, and a rebel I came and I die the same. On the cold winter's night you'll find me.
There you go. That's Krista Coyle, back home in Derry. For Hugh McKenna, that's from Krista's new album at the minute, From the Streets of Free Derry. Right, so the message, the bloody comments on the YouTube feed disappeared there, so I'm just trying to find them back here now. Right, Lee Curry, hi from Croydon, much better performance today. Audrey, I'm going to try and get this right today, right? Audrey Boy Ziglet. Every week. Happy Rebel Sunday, Ro. I love your show every week. Big happy birthday to my sister Denise. So yeah, Denise, happy birthday yourself this afternoon. Eamon Melly, I agree with Damien Quinn. Rebel Sunday is the day. Hugh O'Neill, it sure does. Garmila Milgat. Dylan is saying, getting some feedback, are you? You still getting some feedback, man? Not sure. Phil Coleman, Patter Stairs Night Club, please play a song from the Barley Corn, the Lakes of Cool Finn. Thank you. I'll have we and see if I can get that on Spotify. I don't think I have any Barley Corn on the hard drive. Phil, I'll check and see. Dylan, gotta walk the dog. Back on a bit, no problem. Hail, hail. Hugh O'Neill, Krista, any chance of saying photo of yourself? I love Hugh O'Neill, Larry. Krista, you did a few photos printed, so you will stick them in albums. Maybe lipstick on as well, you know me. Put them on it, so you will, just to keep everybody happy. Paul Bird, hail, hail a row from Kilray. Well, Paul, Hugh O'Neill row, can you play Green Fields of France by anyone? Or he's looking the Irish pretty Gallipoli. Celtic Forever, a lot better performance, won't get carried away. Back on track, 3 good points, hail, hail, definitely. James Corbett, something said so strong. David McSee, going home, British Soldiers. Catherine Finnegan, Rowe, can you play The Rebel Heart by Ray McAreevy and the Wolfhound? Alright, I'll see if we can get a hold of it for you. Paul Bird, Free Derry indeed. Right, so do I have any more shout-outs here on Facebook Live? Let's see, I can so on. Hugh McKenna, great song. Right, so what do we go do next here? What do I have lined up? What did I have lined up next? Hold on, I'll have a joke.
1970.
Yes, sorry, here we go, start this again. So Craigie, see, a lot of these here tracks, I have no name on them, because I've uploaded the CDs into the laptop, and obviously because I haven't put all the song titles on them, I don't know what it actually says, so that's why. Yeah, so Craigie asked me earlier on to play Plastic Bullets by Gary Ogue. Can't find that one there, Craigie, but there's a cracking version here by Marty Higgins from his album Lullabies and Battle Cries, so we'll go do that one here for you. Of course, it mentions about Carl Kelly and Julie Livingstone, who are here in Lannington, were murdered by the British Army with plastic bullets all those years ago. Just literally like 4 doors down there, up from my own house up the street there's a massive big mural of Julie Livingstone, who was killed by the British Army. So yep, Craig, I hope you enjoy this version. It's a cracker tune by Marty Higgins. This is Plastic Bullets on this Rebel Sunday.
3. The British Army introduced a non-lethal...
No, we'll start it again, right? So at the start, where you know you can hear everything Marty's saying. So I'll give her an bash. There we go.
In 1973, the British Army introduced a non-lethal projectile into the north of Ireland. 17 people have now been murdered by this non-lethal projectile, 7 of whom are innocent children. Robin Dunwoody has wrote this song in memory of 2 of the young children who were murdered when returning from the shops with groceries for their family, friends and neighbours. No British soldier or organisation has ever been charged with the brutal murder of these 2 young children. Carl Ann Kelly, 12 years of age. Julie Livingstone, 14 years of age. On Belfast streets, I've heard it said, there shooting little children dead, taking lives hardly begun, plastic bullets from their guns. We won't be kept down easy, we will not be still. We won't be kept down easy. After all, you're maimed and killed. Young Caroline, 12 years of age, shut down by Brits in a bloody rage. Julie Livingstone as well fell victim to their plastic hell. We won't be kept down easy, we will not be still. We won't be kept down easy. After all, you're maimed and killed. They tried to drag us from our streets by taking lives too young and sweet. Do they not know they'll not be beat? Their violence is their own defeat. We won't be kept down easy, we will not be still. We won't be kept down easy. After all, you're maimed and killed. They try to make us toe their line by using every type of crime, but freedom won't be terrorized, nor freedom struggle criminalized. We won't be kept down easy, we will not be still. We won't be kept down easy. After all, you're maimed and killed. In Belfast streets, I've heard it said, they're shooting little children dead. They're taking lives hardly begun, with plastic bullets from their guns. We won't be kept down easy, we will not be still. We won't be kept down easy. After all, you're maimed and killed. We won't be kept down easy, we will not be still. We won't be kept down easy. After all, you're maimed and killed.
Yes, from the great Marty Higgins, Glenn Ravel's legendary Marty Higgins. There's Plastic Bullets from Marty's album there, Lullabies and Battle Cries. And folks, if you want to check out the podcast I've done solely with Marty, check out the YouTube page, folks. Great afternoon I spent on Glen Ravel there with him. and brought me up to Mickey McElhatton's graveyard. My sung a couple of songs and brought me up to Mickey McElhatton's home wee barn and stuff. It was a great day. And then we sat down in Marty's living room, done the full podcast. So it's on there now, folks, on the YouTube page. You want to check it out. It's a great listen, so it is, or a great watch. Right, Craigie here saying, yeah, fitting song, the poppy of the day. Definitely, mate, that their song, and obviously is all about the British Army coming in and murdering 2 innocent children. Of course, I mean, it's rightly a reason not to wear a poppy, especially where I come from here in Landon, when them 2 wee kids were murdered. But obviously I'm come in for reading right now at the minute as we speak. I just see the notifications coming in from people on the status I put up this morning, basically about Lenny wearing the poppy, and there's usual people coming in and giving me good or grief, but sure, it's an opinion, folks. That's all it is. It's not fact or anything opposed, just my personal opinion. I don't see why so many people get upset about it. So but sure. Right, back to YouTube here. As I say, I've just posted here, folks, as you can see along the front. And again, thanks very much for so many people over the last 2 weeks who fired me a wee tip or a donation on PayPal. Folks say it helps the podcast to run, and obviously it helps me as well. So it does have to say it there. So I mean, anything you can, if you can, folks, just throw in. There's a wee link there. It's paypal.me/DJ Rose Show, and just click on that and you can throw in what as little or as much as you like. It'd be much appreciated. The last 2 weeks, I have to say, is a really stepped up, folks. So thank you from myself and the family, because it will go away a long sort of way to helping us out. So well, loads of people here listening here live on Facebook Live, folks, on my stream, and also on the stream on the Rebel podcast Facebook page. I'm a good few here listening on YouTube as well. Right, so Rob Niven, hail big man, greetings from the Lower Falls. Any chance of Bell Chow by the Wicks? Yes, mate, I get that on there for you after this next one, not a problem, mate. No, maybe I'll do it in the second half of the show, Rob, because we'll have Mails coming up very soon. I'll have to get one of his songs out of the way first. Right, Michael Bolton, mate, could you wish your stalker Alicia happy birthday for tomorrow, mate? Bring back the Trinity days. Mick, those were definitely the days, weren't they? Little Trin. Hugh O'Neill, Ro, can you please give us a shout out to Stephen McLean and Tracy Esmond? Tracy Esmond, and my 2 wee girls, Saoirse and Scarlett O'Neill. There you go, not a problem. There's all your wee shout outs done for this afternoon. Right, what do we go do next up here now? What do we have lined up? Yep, so what we're going to do a wee Celtic song, obviously, because the Celts playing today and had a good result against the Well, as they say, at Fair Park. So what we could do with a man like us in our squad now. So it's a cracking song on the new Glasnevin album, On the Victory. As you can see, I'm wearing the lads' t-shirt today. So it's a brilliant wee tune. Jackie McNamara. And I even had to say, about 3 weeks ago when Krista done the live stream with Conor Kelly at about 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 of them were absolutely shit-faced. Which I think actually Connor probably sings a bit better when he's shit-faced. So we've done a version of this here. Shortly after or shortly before, Krista acted a balloon, stuck a pint glass in her head and knocked the drink over the floor. This is Jackie McNamara from Glasnevin from On the Victory.
His name is McNamara, he's a Celtic boy straight back. His forte is turning defence into attack. His head is everywhere, the best you've ever seen. And Jackie McNamara and the hips are white and green. Jackie joined us from the Fairwell where he shone bright for the pass. His first game against the Rangers, he shone the biggest stars. He ran them ragged everywhere, he drove the fans insane. You can bet your bottom dollar, we found the human grain. And his name is McNamara, he's a Celtic boy straight back. His forte is turning defence into attack. His head is everywhere, the best you've ever seen. You're Jackie McNamara and the hips are wearing green. Well, Jackie's home and played for Celtic when they did 9 in a row. And it's off into Walter McKay and the high we see them go. Of his son Jackie Jr. always rightly minded proud. His chest was out the blazes and we chant his name out loud. Oh, his name is McNamara, he's a Celtic boy right back. His forte is turning defence into attack. His head is everywhere, the best you've ever seen. Young Jackie McNamara and her hips are white and green. Jackie boy, don't worry, forget your future's mighty bright. And for 15 years like Carol Marx, you'll be driving down the right. And we'll chant your name and spread your fame throughout the football world. You'll enjoy your reputation with the Celtic flags that follow. And his name is McNamara, he's a Celtic boy straight back. The sports here is turning defence into attack. And he's here and he's in and he's everywhere, the best you've ever seen. The Jackie McNamara in the hoops of green. Oh, his name is McNamara, he's a Celtic boy straight back. The sports here is turning defence into attack. He's here and he's in and he's everywhere, the best you've ever seen. And Jackie McNamara in the hoops of white and green. And Jackie McNamara in the hoops of white and green.
Glasnevin there for you folks with Jackie McNamara, a song from their album On the Victory. Classic Glasnevin there for you. Brendan Connor Kelly, fair play to you, mate. And that there was for... Who actually was? No, I played it myself because I just basically a wee Celtic tune. Right, so what do we have here? We're going to play two more songs and then we're going to have Miles Gaffney on the phone, folks, live from the rebel county of Cork. Looking forward to this one. I have to say, this wee interview. I've been talking to Miles a good bit over the last week over... Facebook Messenger. I have to say, he's a bit like Paul Sheeran. He loves them wee voice clips, so he does. I'm trying to send a message out, and I'll probably do them myself the odd time whenever I can't sit and talk, or I haven't got time to write a message. But Jesus, Paul loves them, so do you mails, have to say. But as long as you're communicating, not a problem. Does me, so it does. Right, so where are you? Rob Niven asked for this one here, and this is not on the CD that Crookie sent me across from the Wicks. This one, but it's a brilliant song, a real sort of like left-wing Italian sort of song, basically against the government and everything else. A brilliant tune. This is Bella Ciao, so it is, and basically the way the Wicks do this here, it's just fantastic. So it is. So yeah, this is basically for Rob Niven, who's down from the Laura Falls, looking a bit of the Wicks, and Bella Ciao. Here we go.
Una mattina mi sono svegliato, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Una mattina mi sono svegliato e ho trovato l'invasore, un partigiano, portami via. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Un partigiano, portami via, che mi sento di morire. E se io muoio da partigiano, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Se io muoio da partigiano, tu mi devi seppellire. E se io muoio da partigiano, tu mi devi seppellire. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Seppellire lassù in montagna sotto l'ombra d'un bel fior e le genti che passeranno. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. E le genti che passeranno mi daranno che bel fior. Tutte le genti che passeranno mi daranno che bel fior. Questo è il fiore del partigiano. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Questo è il fiore del partigiano morto per la libertà. Questo è il fiale del partigiano morto per la libertà.
There's the brilliant Wake Surf, you folks, with Bella Ciao, especially for Rob Niven down the lower falls. There you go, spicy for you, that one. Right, so we're going to do one more tune up next, and then we're going to have Miles Gaffney live on the phone. So who have I on here? Come on the hoops, Sally Keith. How's it going, Ro? Ro Show, Sally Waters Club. Good to see you on, mate. Happy days. What about Damien Quinn singing the James McLean song, Marty Heaney? Marty, you're too late. I've already had it on, mate, so I have. It was on at the start of the show, so you can back and listen to it again so you can. Right, Tony O'Brien, will you ask Miles when he's on, is he available for overtime next week? He'll know what I mean. Cheers, the show is class. Tony O'Brien, no problem, mate. Well, I'm sure Miles is probably watching this now, but we'll ask him anyway. So, right, so what are we going to do? Right, we're going to do one more song here, right, and then we're going to get Miles on the phone. So again, folks, I see there's a few donations flying in while I'm on here, so thank you very much again. The wee link's there if you want to send me something on PayPal, just to sort of help the show out and help myself out. Much appreciated. PayPal.me and just /DJ Rose Show if you can. Anything you can, folks, will be much appreciated. So thank you very much. Right, so what are we going to do next? Right, this is the song here. The first, the first song we played by Miles on the show was the big song with Joe Joyce, the big Joe Joyce at the start of the show. And this is, we're doing 3 original songs from Miles today, and obviously we'll ask him about the songs while we have him on. So this is a great song. It was picked actually by Murray Leith a few weeks ago when we had Murray on the show. This is one of his song choices. So that's a song called Sean Foster, Child of 16 by Miles Gaffney. So we'll play this here wee tune for you, and then we'll get Miles on the phone and we can discuss the song and other things later on once the interview's on. Here we go.
One Friday night I sat at home watching Late Show. Ryan Tuberty and Joe Duffy were on the TV screen, and they spoke about the children and the rising of 16, the children of 16. 2-year-old Sean Foster from Dublin Stony Batter, with Katie's mom in his pram, walking to fetch Matthew. But for Katie Foster, that day she forever ruined. She didn't know what she was walking into. Now she turned to Church Street, her rebels shouted run. The Lancers had reached the barricade, the rising had begun. She closed her eyes, she was running blind, trying to find a place to hide. Her brother Joe shouted, run for it, you might get hit by a stray bullet. And the Lancers whose went clippity-clop, the cry rang out, my baby shot. As bullets bounced from wall to wall, a little boy lay dead in Matthew Hall. Was this the vision of your signatories? A mother screaming down on her knees, but not my little boy, oh Lord, won't you help me please? Cry, my little boy, once more, won't you cry please? His daddy John was killed at the Somme, a widowed wife now mourned her son. She always believed as long as she lived, Sean was shot by a rebel's bullet. For Katie Foster, that walk she'd forever regret, Easter Monday she'd never forget. And the Lancers whose went clippity-clop, the cry rang out, my baby shot. His bullets bounced from wall to wall, a little boy lay dead in Matthew Hall. Was this the vision of your signatories? A mother screaming down on her knees. Oh, not my little boy, oh Lord, won't you help me please? Cry, my little boy, once more, won't you cry, please?
Here we go. So, Sean Foster, a child of 16, folks, are fees fantastic. They're from Miles, right? We'll go to next. Let's see if we can get Miles on the phone. If we can get this damn Facebook Messenger to work. So here we go. Let's get this going. Hopefully, I have a good signal up in County Cork there. I think he's sitting in the car waiting on me on my call. So here we go. We're ringing. Hello. We'll connect.
Can you hear me?
Well, hold on a wee second to turn this here Mander speaker down and just turn up. Yeah, Miles, good man. Great to see you on this afternoon, mate. Thank you very much for coming on to the show.
No problem. Thank you for having me, Rory.
Right, good man. So the sound, that's okay. So it's a bit muffly or so. So maybe the wee mic is a bit too close to your mouth or something, but it sounds like we can hear you okay. So, right, but before we start things off, Miles, and get into this here, first tell me, obviously being a proud Cork man, right? And I've heard this here saying from a load of people from Cork, and never knew what it meant, right? So, what is a langer?
A langer? A langer is somebody who's a clown, you know?
But like
an idiot, a dope.
Like Micheál Martin, then would he be described as a langer?
Yeah, he's a langer, yeah.
Right, so it's basically a balloon. Somebody's a bit of an arsehole, like langer, agent.
There was a song called Langer.
Actually, is it called the Langer song or something? I think I heard before on the.
That's right, yeah.
Ryan Topperley or something, or what I call him. One of them guys played on that, or one of them tunes. Radio station Dublin. I heard it was way many moons ago, like so it was. But I remember a song about some langer being played. But yeah, so we go. So folks, in case you're not aware who basically Miles is, he's a rebel and folk singer from County Cork. Obviously, double nominated for a Grammy Award. So Miles, big congrats on that there for the plaudits there. So I have to say, right. So obviously, like a few other guitarists I've had on the show, I've sort of interviewed and spoken to. You actually started out playing the drums, and not like all them other ones. So basically, tell us a wee bit first about how you first started playing the drums before you get into the whole guitar sort of scene.
Well, when I was about 7, my father had a tape of Queen live in Wembley. Queen live in Wembley, and I used to just watch the tape for hours and watch Roger Taylor on the drums, and I wanted to be a drummer.
Right.
So my father bought me a Pearl Export drum kit, which at the time was, you know, it was like the Mercedes of drum kits, really.
Very good.
And I got lessons off a man named Sean Ford, who since actually passed away about 2 years ago.
Right.
But Sean was a renowned drummer, especially in the jazz circuit. And so he put me through Trinity College in London to read music and read drum music and to write music, as in, you know, reading and writing that type of music. So off I went anyway, and I stuck at it, and I got up as far as level 3 in grading, reading the drum music. And I suppose, you know, kind of maybe going forward, I was maybe 12, maybe 11, 12, and a friend of mine had an acoustic guitar, and I used to call around to his place and just started playing his guitar and got my own one. And
got the bug,
you know, after that I was kind of self-taught after that. Then, you know, any instrument I picked up afterwards, I just self-taught myself, I suppose.
You know, I think a lot of people have on that busy guitars, so they've had like singers, and they've all been that route. Basically, they say, "Yeah, we'll just pick up a guitar and get a few maybe not them." And you learnt off YouTube, probably you're a bit younger. YouTube probably wouldn't have been out like them, but obviously a lot of the younger ones now coming through, it's basically just going to YouTube and picking up chords and stuff, and there's teaching themselves. There's That's
Yeah.
the way it is now. Like, so obviously, from about
Really
busy,
handy.
from about 14 onwards, so you sort of moved on to the guitar, you reckon, and obviously writing your own stuff. So busy, tell us a wee bit from there, like how you sort of
Yes.
your journey moved on from that age, like.
So like, I mean, I always had the ballad music and the rebel songs. So my uncle Liam, he would have bred all those songs into me as a child, and I sing a lot of Christy Moore songs and
Right.
the Furies and the Wolf Tones. But when I set out to write about Ireland and our social issues, our history, and of course our struggle. And but believe it or not, when I started writing songs, my influencers were people like Mark Knopfler and Billy Joel and Tupac Shakur.
Right.
I used to listen. I'm not a big fan of rap music, but he had a message. Tupac Shakur was a special person, and he had if you listen to the lyrics of those songs, I mean,
This is definitely left field line mail. Didn't see this here.
this guy had it down to a
Statement coming.
T.
So didn't like. Tupac then would be one of your
Yeah,
sort of.
and that. I mean, Westlife, even Westlife. I Fly Without Wings and You Raise Me Up, and those songs, like, you'd listen to those type of songs when you're trying to write that type of song yourself.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Right. You've mentioned there
So
about.
depending on what type of. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so there's a bit of a delay. So there is. That's why I'm trying to.
Hello?
Yeah, there's a bit of. I'm trying to get something in. Then you're talking back. So there's a wee bit of a delay. So there is. That's why it's sort of clashing. So it is. So obviously, you spoke there about your uncle, right? So would you?
Yeah.
You can outside, are you? Sounds like a bit of wind or something there. So there is.
Yeah, I'm going moving my location here because I just felt I might be losing signal there for a second.
It was.
So I'm going to my house because I was out in the car.
See, that's the problem. See, when we're calling folks from over an internet line, these things happen. This is like live radio, so or live show, so it happens.
So we're back on track.
Right, that sounds a bit more clear and emailed. So it does. Right,
Yeah.
Right.
So
obviously, Richie, you mentioned there about your uncle, right? And so would you sort of say would you have been raised in a Republican family? Would you?
No. On my both grandparents, there would have been maybe granduncles or volunteer in the congregation and Ego. But no, Republicanism was never part of my family, like my own mother and father.
Listen, this signal is terrible here, so it is. So I don't know if maybe need to try and go on somewhere else in the house where you have better Wi-Fi or something, or but you're literally breaking up every 2 seconds. So you are.
No, it's completely gone.
Right, can you?
Hello?
Did you move there now? Did you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm right next to the internet box here.
Hopefully that sounds a bit better. 'Cause it was just breaking up there really bad, mate. So it was. So that's why I'd sort of say they try and move. Right. So obviously you were talking about like basically your republicanism. So you wouldn't have been brought up in an immediate Republican family, and like so you wouldn't have.
No, not at all. No. As I say, granduncles and people before me would have been members of the Republican movement long time in the 30s, 40s, 50s era. But no, for me, no. I think it was a bit of a surprise actually when to my family when my colours actually came out, and my love for Ireland and my people and how I would long to see Ireland united and to be free again, So that started happening as well when I was writing songs. I took a lot of interest in socialism and socialism in one country, and I started reading books, and I found out then that Sinn Féin had a headquarters in Cork, so I used to frequent this after school on a Wednesday and get myself some books.
Get yourself educated then, like?
just to educate myself. And it really helped me going forward with songwriting. I mean, I don't write all rebel songs and songs about Ireland. I write songs about, social issues in Ireland, but all my music is based on Irish things and Irish people.
Right. So
that's where I stand regarding.
Let's talk now a wee bit about when you sort of first actually started like performing live, right? So the first man that actually joined his band, somebody I know very well, Don Bullman. I've brought Clonard basically to Belfast a few times to play different functions. Obviously, this has been after your time, so obviously with the band, so it is. But obviously, during one of those gigs, Don gave me a copy of their CD, Clonard Live at the Heart Bar in Cork. And obviously, I was sort of my album the first time I heard the name Miles Gaffney. So it was obviously that's the one where the flute band was playing as well, and half of it in the band done. A few songs. So tell us a wee bit about first linking up with Don and the lads from Clonard.
Well, it was like Don is kind of really solely responsible for giving me the confidence to perform live. You mentioned the McCurtain McSweeney Republican Flute Band. Well, I was a founding member of the McCurtain McSweeney Band, and I was actually in the room the night that band was formed, and I was actually given the job as the recruiting officer to build a band and get people in and train them and teach them. So, I mean, the Republican Flute Band kind of, I started playing in public, something I never did before. I never performed my music or anything. It was just like a hobby at the time. So marching and going on the road with the RFB gave me confidence to play an instrument in front of people. And Don knew me from the band and what have you, and he had an idea that he was going to set up a trad group named Clan Éireann, and he asked me to be in the band. So it was the original Clan Éireann. There was actually 5 in the band. So I was on the whistle and flute, and then I started doing a bit of singing. Don brought me out of my shell, and he did, and my first ever live performance anywhere was in a hotel down in Ballybunion in County Kerry.
It's actually a name of place, Ballybunion?
Ballybunion, yeah, we played down there, and I was as nervous. And, I just got it over and done with. And Don nurtured me along all the time, gave me a bit of courage. And sure, after 3 or 4 gigs, I settled in nicely. And I've never ever looked back. But I started maybe about a year, 14 months into playing with Clan Éireann. I kind of, was saying, I have gear bags full of songs, and am I going to do anything with them? So I was kind of on the fence about doing it, and then I decided that I just didn't want to leave Don Bullman down. Do you know what I mean?
He's a great guy. So he's done a lot for me, so he has as well.
Yeah, and he's a good guy to know, and very helpful, and all good to my kids and stuff, and still is. He only texts me actually during the week, but I just didn't want to leave Don down and hurt him, or he had single-handedly molded me into a performing live musician, and but I thought long and hard about it, and I spoke to my father and my wife, and I said I think my time is done in Clan Éireann, and I need to record my own music, and I feel that I can do it, and that I can get a following. And my first song I released was a song about Roy Keane called Keno, and I haven't looked back since. I mean, my first song got plenty of airplay. It's been used in documentaries, the BBC singing, and I've never ever looked back. And now maybe someday I would love to go back and do a few gigs with the lads, just for fun,
Well, thank you. I miss the
I perform a lot on my own.
Yep.
And sometimes there's 3 of us, and sometimes there's 4 of us. There'd be gigs like ticket gigs in Cypress Avenue and places, but I miss the crack and having a group of lads and you're all giving it welly together,
definitely. So I was like the next sort of question we ask. So obviously you parted ways with sort of Clonard, and sort of must have got the bug to sort of go out on your own, produce your own stuff, and write your own songs. So obviously to date you've released 2 albums and you've a third on the way, busy imminently. So busy, tell us a wee bit about making the big step to go out on your own then, like once you sort of left Clonard, like.
So I mean, the dreaded rebel songs. There are certain people in Irish society completely and utterly, absolutely hate rebel songs and hate traditional music, and I can never understand it because this is our culture. This is who we are. No other nation in the world would hate their culture and their history, but there's a stigma that comes with performing rebel songs, and it's kind of shun upon. So at the time when I decided to go on my own, there was this kind of stigma attached to me that, like, it's all songs, rebel, which it wasn't. So a lot of people were kind of reluctant at the beginning to maybe, as we say, get into bed with me, or tie their name to me, or even give me a gig for that matter, because I'm sure they thought that people were going to show up wearing balaclavas. Do you know what I mean?
Right, okay.
And like, I remember one time getting a gig, right? And didn't your man make me write out a set list, right? This is true as God.
Is there a pre list to tell him what songs you will do? Jesus.
Yeah, and I had to bring them down to him, right? And he went through them, and I swear he picked the songs which he thought were going to be suitable.
Fuck.
And I was saying to myself, like, no, this isn't the way things should be working at all.
Yeah.
So anyway, off I went on my own, and didn't I get a fella? After a couple of weeks, anyway, and I got a few gigs under my belt. I mean, people said, hold on 1 minute, like, this is totally different to what we were expecting. The songs I was playing, I mean, I can play songs by Neil Young, Bob Dylan, the Eagles, it doesn't matter. But I didn't want to be a people pleaser either. So I wanted to stick to my guns, and I wanted to perform Irish folk music. So I hooked up with a fella called Andy Dunn, and he took me on, and I was delighted because, I mean, I was finding it really difficult to get recording time and somebody to show me the ropes. I was raw, new to the scene.
Yep.
So Andy took me on, and we produced an album. I had 5 original songs on the first album and 5 covers, and it was great. We went away and we launched it in the PAV here in Cork City. We sold 550 tickets, which I was completely knocked back by because I was only a solo artist 10 months.
Yep, so it's still a big accolade, like, for such a big crowd.
And I was able to fill the biggest venue in Cork City, like, after 10 months. So the first song, as I said, was Ruairí Carson, and that was on the album. It was a strong album, and Come Hold My Hand Son was another original song on it. That was one of the Grammy nominated songs. Right. A song I wrote about my late mother. But going forward, I was, suppose, as Christy Moore would say, I was bitten by the bug. Bitten by the ballad
bug. Yep. Right.
And I couldn't let the pen out of my hand, and I was just writing morning, noon, and night. The songs are just flooding into me, and they still are. I was writing last night till 5 o'clock in the morning. I was writing the same song while I go at 1 o'clock down in the kitchen, getting prepared for you. But I just have never looked back. I have this new. So then I brought out a second album. And it was strong, but it was rushed. And it was rushed by me.
Right.
Because I got so excited.
Regret that idea?
I got so excited after the success of the first album and the launch and the buzz off the crowd, and you're walking out onto the stage, and there's a couple of hundred people there after paying money to come in and see you perform. The adrenaline and the buzz and the rush, I wanted to keep it going.
Yeah.
It was like a drug, man. I just wanted to, get me back here again. So I'd say 2 weeks went by after the launch, and I went back to the studio with 10 songs that I had written. I had written it anyway. They were done. Like, I didn't write them in 2 weeks. I had them.
Yeah.
I suppose I rushed it. It's due to nobody else's fault, only my own.
Do you think would you regret that there now, bringing it out so quickly after the first album? Like,
I do. Yes, I do. I didn't give the other album time to breathe, or I didn't give it time to sell proper, because I had just brought it out, and here I was all over social networking 2 weeks later, back in the recording studio, ramming more songs down people's throats, and the first album suffered because of that, because I didn't allow time. And I suppose maybe 10 months after the first album launch, here I was launching the second one. As I say, very rushed. When I listen back to some of the tracks, I say to myself, I should have changed that word, or I should have put that in there, or and at that time I was using a different technique to songwriting that I'm using now. It's totally different. I'd go into a room in my grandmother's house, I'd close the door, and I'd come out of it with a song. Like, that was it. I'm going down there at 1 o'clock, and I'm going to come out of it at 5 o'clock with a song. I stopped doing all that. I started writing songs, I started to sit on songs, I started to demo songs. Listen to them, listen over and over again to make sure you were satisfied.
Yeah, being like more of a perfectionist now, like, than without just rushing it out then.
Yeah, lashing them out, you see, I did, because there was nobody really following me, and there was nobody really listening to me, so I didn't care. I had nothing to lose. But now I know that there's always somebody lurking in the background, waiting to pick out with a point or a fault, because now I have a following.
Yep.
And people expect good music out of you now, and they expect a good song.
So there's pressure then for you to perform then, like, more or less now every time then, anything you bring out. So as you think now, like?
Yeah, like, I just have this, it's a gift from God that I believe that I was given, and the passion within my heart. And when I sing all those songs, and when I write those songs, I actually can vision this happening in my mind.
Right.
And when I play and my eyes are closed, I'm actually visualizing in my own mind and my own brain of what I'm actually singing about and what I have created. So we'll take Sean Foster, which you just played earlier before I came on. Sean Foster, I mean, when I perform that song live, and it's really popular with the audience, I play 2 nights every year in Cork City and Cypress Avenue, and it's always 2 sellout shows. But to hear the audience join in and sing, and the Lancers Who's went clippity clop, and the cry rang out, my baby is shot. I visualize that woman. I've never met her, or anything in my life, but I can see this happening. I can see the woman running with the buggy. I can see the gun. I can see the bullet. I'm visualizing it in my mind as I am singing it. Yep. And I do that with all my songs. And I suppose that gives, what can I say, it comes across more to the listener. And that's why people are willing to sit down for 2 hours, pay 15, 20 euros a ticket, and sit down and watch you perform. Because they're drawn by your passion, and they're drawn by your performance. And they sit there and they watch you perform, because they know that my performance is real, and the story is real, and I'm singing it from my heart.
So after what you were talking about there, right, obviously it sort of maybe brings us on to the next question. What sort of say? So obviously, like, the first song I played on the show, right, was a song called Big Joe, obviously in honour of the legendary Irish traveller, Big Joe Joyce. So obviously, when you're sort of sitting there talking about, I can just imagine you sitting, because obviously there's a picture of you sitting in his caravan or his chalet, whatever it was, with your eyes closed, sitting playing a guitar, and you just see Joe like sitting watching you, you know. So tell us a wee bit about obviously how this song came about. Did you approach Simmons and say, listen, we want to do a song about Joe, about his life and whatever and stuff, and obviously then all about the how the process of the song happened?
Well, the way I write, okay, I don't think anybody else does or uses this technique. I will go to the source of the song. So for argument's sake, before I just go to Joe Joyce, say the Birmingham Six, Paddy Hill, Christy Moore arranged for me Christy Moore and Pat Ryan arranged for me to fly to Glasgow and spend time with Paddy Hill, because I wanted to write a song called Paddy Hill. And so I hung around with Paddy for 2 days. It's the same with any song I write. I will go to the source of the song and say, look, I have an idea. The story is based on you, or you have information that could benefit me. Are you interested in sitting down with me? And 100%, any time you approach somebody and tell them that you need them to help you write a song, they never say no, because they're being immortalised forever.
Yep, definitely.
Nobody on this island or any Irish man across the world will never, ever turn you down for information, for songs. So, I mean, I've done it with them all. Joe Duffy, Roy Keane, Paddy Hill, and the new stuff that's coming, which I would love to tell you about. Not the new album. There's actually 16 songs ready for after that album again. But anyway, we'll go to Joe Joyce. So what happened was I featured in the media in New York for the Grammys, okay? It was Irish American newspapers and Irish American online platforms. And there was a man named, he's a Cork man, but they call him the Lord Mayor of New York from Cork. He's out there a long time. Donny Carroll. Donny Duxer Carroll is a founder of the Cork band Finnegan's Wake.
Right, okay. Yes, heard of them. Yep.
So Duxie sent me an email about bare knuckle boxing, and Duxie had a song about a bare knuckle boxer, and he sent it to me and he says, have an aced off that, and let me know what you think about it. And so we were chatting away about bare knuckle boxing, and the next thing he says, look, this guy L.P. O'Sullivan, this guy back in the 1800s was founded bare knuckle boxing as such, and he was a traveller. I think he was from Waterford, and so he came up with this bare knuckle way to resolve disputes among travelling people. So I was reading, and you know something now, Rory, it was just too much reading.
Yep.
And I lost interest in it completely. And lo and behold, anyway, I found myself in the company of travellers one evening. And believe it or not, actually, he's from Waterford, and his name is Paddy Riley. Paddy Guiney, it would be his nickname, but Paddy Riley is his name. And we're chatting away with Paddy Riley anyway, and he asked me about the songs and what have you. And I said, Paddy, I said, trying to write a song, I said, there about the bare knuckle boxing. I said, been a traveller. I said, would you have any old bit of information for me on bare knuckle boxing? Paddy turned around to me and he said, do you know who you need to see now? He said, you need to see Big Joe Joyce. Now, I mean, everybody in Ireland knows who Big Joe Joyce is. So I said, right. I said, do you know him, Paddy? You do? He says, Paddy, I know Joe Joyce. He said, as a matter of fact, he said, I'm going to give him a phone call right now.
Right.
So Paddy phoned up Davy Joyce, who was Joe Joyce's son.
Right, okay.
He said, I have a lad here, he says, and he's not a time waster. He says, the man, he says, has written songs for a lot of people and television shows and what have you. He said, your man wouldn't be a blackguard. He is a genuine songwriter. And he wants to meet your father and possibly walk away from your father with a song. So Davy Joyce asked Paddy for my number.
Right.
And Davey phoned me and he said, you tell me what you want. So I was telling Davey, look, we'll come up, spend a bit of time with your father. Can I get a bit of a vibe off him? Can I get, a couple of lines out of him?
A few stories or something to sort of
can I just pick up on anything at all just to trigger the song off? So in the meantime, I was going up and you hear an awful lot of rubbish like, oh, Joe Joyce will kill you and he'll give you a thump and all this stuff, and it was all bull because I spoke to Davy Joyce about this before. Like he's saying, like, I suppose you are here, and he said to me, "Oh, they'll give you a hide and they'll do all this." He said that's rubbish. I said, "I know, sure." I said, "But I did hear all that," and he knew that kind of stuff has been sent to me.
Of course, yeah.
So I went up anyway, and I walked into the house, and there he was. Big Joe Joyce, and he was sitting down inside in his room watching his TV with his cowboy hat on him, and
was it intimidating, like, first going to see him?
No. We was welcomed into the house. I was given a plate of food the minute I went into the house. I was given tea and a big plate of grub, and I was looked after, incredibly respectful, actually.
Yeah.
So I sat down and he just said to me, right, he says, what do you want to know? So I explained the story, and I said, I was watching a clip of you on YouTube there, Joe, I said, and round about, I says, dipping your hands inside in petrol. And there was a big burst of laughter because at this stage now there was me and there was Joe, there was Davey, there was Baby Joe, there was Joe Ward, the professional boxer.
Yeah.
There was his kids, young Jerry Ward, and there was loads of them there. So we were sitting down and Joe started to open up about his life, and that he was born in a place called Hall Bog in County Offaly. And he started boxing when he was 4, and he taught me all about like living on the side of the road, and he did move from town to town, and he just basically went through his life. And I had picked up on this, I leave your face like a butcher's block. And I said it to him. And he told me the story behind it, that one day RT had pulled up outside his house and there was some big fight coming up, and he asked him for an interview, and he said in the interview, he says, I steep my hands in petrol, he said, for 20 minutes a day. And after a good fight, he said, about 20 minutes, he said, a man's face should look like a butcher's block. And
what's the petrol meant to do?
It makes his hands rock hard.
Right. Okay.
I asked him, could I take those lines, and he said, "Yep, walk away." So I spent about overall 2 days, I suppose. I spent about 10 hours in Joe's company. Told me all about his life, and so he was deeply. He was in mourning at the time. It was early days. He had buried his son John, so he spoke a lot about his son, and I felt that maybe it was a good idea, maybe if this song was to be written, that I should mention John and mention his other sons. I mean, it's all truth. The song's all the truth, So I did. I put in his son John and Joe and Davey, and I went off down the road and I structured the song, and I went to the recording studio with it, and people were saying to me, "Are you out of your mind?" But if something's not to be done, then I'm doing it.
Yep.
If everybody else is going up the hill, while Gaffney is coming down it.
Down the hill.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'll tackle an issue, and I'll write about an issue, and I'll tackle a song that people are afraid. And this is what I'm going back to earlier about Irish society. Irish people are people pleasers, a lot of them, and they're afraid to tackle the establishment and to sing about the things that are not supposed to be sang. But I'll do it. And that's the difference between me and others. And I wrote that song about Joe, and it was gas, actually, because didn't Joe Woman come on to me? Ellen DeGeneres, right?
Right, okay.
And she sends me an email, right? This one
Ellen
called
DeGenerate.
Sarah. Yeah, so this one called Sarah, right? She's one of the research team,
Right,
sends
okay.
me an email. Oh, she said, I mean, this song Big Joe like was up in the millions. There was millions and millions and millions of hits on it.
Right.
Tyson Fury even was playing it, and I think he had about 77,000 on his had listened to it, and it was one video I screenshotted a few of them. 1.3 million people had listened to somebody who had shared it on their platform.
Jesus.
So your one comes on anyway. It says, "Oh, would you like to come on the Ellen show?"
Seriously?
And
What?
and
Like, I've watched that shit because my wife would watch it, like, and you're going,
right
like,
on St. Patrick's Day, right?
right, okay.
And sing your song Big Joe. It's a viral hit, and we've stumbled across it. So with that, anyway, I said, yeah, I was telling me old fella, and I was saying to the wife, look at this email I'm after getting here. I said,
Jesus Christ.
so I was getting all prepared to do the whole business anyway. I had myself booked on the plane. I was going the whole lot, like, and in my own mind. And next day I get another email. After a long discussion, we decided not to have you on the show, as we didn't realise that Big Joe Joyce is a renowned bare knuckle boxer, and we cannot be seen to promote that type
Jesus Christ.
type of sport.
So they were going to, like, bring you over to America and all, but fly you over and put you up and bring you on the show, like?
Well, I was gone. Like, I mean, they had laid out all how I was going to travel there, and that it was unpaid. They told me that it was unpaid performance, but you'd get the exposure. That the travel was paid for, and the hotel would be paid for, and then you would be collected and brought to the studio and brought back. But 2 days went by anyway. I still have the emails. I kept them. I saved them because,
Yeah, that's crazy.
you never know when that email address could come in handy again. But so that's as true as God, man.
That's brilliant,
That's what happened. Yeah.
Obviously, you talking to us about the Irish Travellers, like, I mean, I have so much time for them, so do. Like, there's a halting site right across the road there from us, so there is, and, like, basically growing up, my dad knew them, and we were near their sites all the time and stuff. Leading the night, I would still all the time bring a bit of scrap and stuff over to them, so I would. And deal with them, and they're great people. I mean, they do get a very bad name. Obviously, there's a few like rogues in them. I mean, they aren't all basically angels, so they aren't. But the majority of them, I mean, they are. They're great people. So they are. I mean, I have a lot of time for the travelling community. So I have.
Well, my philosophy is very, very simple, Rory. Okay, you treat people how you expect to be treated yourself. Okay, I've never ever in my life, no matter what race or creed or belief anybody is, I will treat you the same way as I would like to be treated. And same for travelling people. All going through school, I have no problem in playing football in the schoolyard with the travelling boys.
Yeah.
I walk into a pub, I have no problem sitting down drinking with a traveller. I sit down and drink with him the same as I drink with you.
Yep.
Obviously, I know people who are not travellers who are rogues and who are bad.
Yep.
But, the majority of them, I never had any issue. I treat them all the same. I've often played for them. They've often hired me to play for them. I had a good friend, a traveller, John Burke. He passed away about 4 years ago, very sudden, very quick. But John was my friend for nearly 20 years. Since I was a teenager, I hung around with John. So that's my philosophy in life. You treat someone the way you want to be treated, and I've never ever shunned or turned my back on anybody. I treat everybody the same, and it's very simple. And you'll have an easy life if you follow that guideline.
So obviously, being like a very proud Cork man, which you are, right? You mentioned earlier on, you wrote a song about obviously one of Cork and Ireland's greatest ever, I'm going to say soccer players here, not football players, Roy Keane. So sort of fill me in on when Keane brought you over to Old Trafford as a kid. Obviously then you ended up writing the songs. You're a Liverpool fan, aren't you? So
yeah,
tell us a bit about that.
So back on the 7th of May 1994, my mother died from cancer at the age of 33.
Okay, sorry to hear that.
and I was just going on 10. I would have had a sister. She would be 4, and maybe the other sister was just 2.
Right.
And so that summer, Ruairí Keane had signed for Manchester United. Now, I'd have 2 of my mother's sisters are married to 2 of Ruairí Keane's first cousins, okay? So one of them carried a story to Mrs. Keane, who Ruairí Keane's mother, okay?
Yep.
And had told her, the story that my mother, who was Kay O'Neill, was dying. And there was, she had terminal cancer. So obviously that story had been fed through to Roy, probably when he was just in conversation with his mother, or, the way people just have chinwag. And when my mother passed away, that coming September, I remember I was going back to school because I'd been out of school for a long time regarding what was the situation at home and stuff. And so I was going back to school, and I was told by my father that Ruairí Keane had made touch with the family, had touched in with the family, and that he wanted to bring us over to Old Trafford, that Liverpool were playing at Manchester United at Old Trafford, and that he had tickets for us, and he wanted to bring us over to the game, and he wanted me, I suppose, through a very sad period of my life, I suppose he wanted to give it a
sort of cheer you up.
a sad kid a bit of a lift.
Yep.
And a child that longed for his mother and longed for the love of his mother. And so we went over so we got on the plane, myself, my old fella, my uncle Dennis, and my 2 cousins, Eddie and Alan. Right. Now, Dennis is a relative of the Keane family anyway. Right. But so we went on the plane, and
was you all Liverpool fans, or was there any United fans of them?
There was 3 Liverpool and 2 Man U.
Right. Okay.
So we got to the Holiday Inn in Manchester, and it was arranged that Roy was to come down to us. And I remember the girl rang the room. I think now I should have checked this out really with my old fella or with Dennis, but she said this Ruairí Keane is here.
Seriously?
That's
brilliant.
In the reception.
So
your woman was shook, but didn't he come on down with Paul Scholes with him?
Paul Scholes as well? Jesus, right? Okay.
He was with him. He came along for the spin.
Right? Fuck. On down for this crack here, right?
So he left the tickets and, said enjoy the game or whatever like that. But we knew that that was it then, that we wouldn't be seeing Roy again because we were going home anyway. Yeah. The following morning, he had done his bit. I mean, he got the tickets. So when we got to Old Trafford, I mean, these are the best seats you could get. What he gave us, we were we're all the commentators with these seats. Yeah. So we were sitting next to people like Georgie Best and Alan Kennedy, Ray Kennedy, from all Liverpool legends, Kenny Dalglish, and they were all there. Peter Onsgood, they were all commentating for different stations, and so we were sitting right behind them, and we had the best seats in the house. I mean, we were in touching distance of players and management, and sure, I was in awe. And anyway, cut a long story short, Liverpool lost, and your man got a goal, Eric Cantona and Andre Kanchelskis, and I think it was I think it was either Robbie Fowler or Neil Ruddock might have scored off a corner for Liverpool. I'm not sure, I can't remember, but I think it was Ruddock got a header off a corner ball. So it was so after the game then, we got photographs with Eric Cantona and Peter Schmeichel, David James, Steve McManaman, Robbie Fowler. It was a great experience. You could and back then, it was unheard of people, not the way we go to games now. You get a flight for a tenner and
Yeah.
You get a ticket for 50 quid, you fly over and back in one day. There was none of that back then. It was a big deal
Big
to
deal
be
to
going
go.
to the
Yeah, sure.
you know, and I couldn't believe it. I was showing all the lads when I came back, look who I met, and I couldn't wait to get the photos developed. Paul Inson.
Different story. You couldn't have on your phone like to show somebody. You had to get the actual pictures developed.
Yeah, and so that was the whole beginning of this Roy Keane story, and when it was on my mind and I was thinking about leaving Clonairon, like, remember, Ireland was in a big recession when I was in Clonairon, so I was relying on that income, you know.
Yeah.
That was my job. There was no. I'm a carpenter. I'm a carpenter by trade. The building trade was completely decimated, and there was zero work. So I was solely relying on music. So in the back of my mind, there was the gamble and the risk of walking away from Clonairon and doing the solo run. So one evening I was down in, my sister has a stage school here in Cork, and my daughter is in the stage school, and I was collecting my daughter, and you know, I was thinking, and the story had broke on the radio about Roy Keane again. Like there's always something about Roy Keane. And I said to myself, "That's it. That's my first song there. I'm going to go home this evening, and I'm going to write a song for Roy to say thank you for what you done for me, Roy." And I did, and I stayed up all night writing that song. It took me all night. I finished it about 10 o'clock the following morning, and I got it recorded, and I sent it out to a radio presenter here in Cork, Neil Prendeville. I sent it to him. He gave it a few spins, but before that I had to get Roy's permission, you see.
Right, okay.
Before all this, I had to get Roy's permission, because you can't release a song about a man without his knowledge. So a guy named Jamesy Corcoran, he would have been a good friend of Roy Keane's. He was my middleman. He was my contact to Roy, you know.
Right.
Unfortunately, Jamesy passed away last year out playing golf. Got a heart attack, but he was my man. And I went to James, and I met James about 5 o'clock in the evening outside my father's house on Redemption Road in Cork City. And James phoned me back about an hour later, and he said that Roy said plow away with the song, that he was delighted with it.
Great, happy days.
So then I going back, then I gave Prendeville the song to play, and about 2 years ago, you know, Cove Ramblers Football Club here in Cork City, Cove Ramblers, where Roy Keane started his career after he left Rockmount AFC. Rockmount AFC, he went to Cove Ramblers, to Nottingham, to Manchester, and there's a local legend here in Cork City, he's not local, he's known nationally, he's known in England as well, another footballer, a fella called Bobby Donovan. He would be probably better known as Handsome Bob.
Handsome Bob.
And Handsome Bob, us Norries here on the north side of Cork City, we all have nicknames, but anyway, there was a night for Cove Ramblers, and Roy was the guest speaker.
So is that what the photograph is? Because I've seen there's a picture like on stage where you would like this or something with him, is it?
That's right, yeah.
Right, okay.
So I heard it on the news or whatever, so I phoned Bob. Bob is a good friend of my father's for many years. He was a good friend of my mother when they were young. And I called Bob. I said, Bobby, is there any chances you can arrange an old meeting for me? I said, with Roy Keane. And he said, I won't promise you anything, Miles. He says, but you know, I reckon I possibly could get it over the line, but you can't tell anybody.
Yep.
So I said, yeah, no problem, mum's the word. So Bob rang me back 2 or 3 hours later. He says, that's the green light, that's the go ahead. What do you want to do? I said, look, I just want to give him the original single in a frame, and say thanks. So that's what happened. So on the day of the meet and greet and an evening with Roy Keane, Bob just called me aside and said, look, he said, the MC on the evening will call your name over the microphone. You walk up to the stage, go on the stage, Roy will come to meet you. You say what you have to say to Roy, and that'll be it. And I said, I'm very happy with that. So that's what happened. And we were on the stage, and the local journalist here, photographer journalist, Brian Lockheed, he caught a great picture of the two of us laughing together, okay? And people always ask me, what are you laughing at? And what we're laughing at is, I said to Roy, I said, listen, Roy, I said, thanks for what you done for me when I was a kid, and I never forget it. And look, the song is a thank you, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, as a matter of fact, Roy, I said, what did you think of the song yourself? And he said, I think it was pretty good. And I said, well, I said, the song must be absolutely amazing. I said, if you think it's pretty good.
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
You know the way he comments, like, I mean, he cut you, like, he's straight as a die.
Yeah.
And that's what we were laughing at when I said, well, it must be unbelievable. I said, if you're saying it's good, pretty good. So he knew the joke, he knew where I was coming from, and that's what we were laughing at in that photograph, And, again, Roy was involved in the Liam Miller Memorial game. It was Roy and Michael O'Flynn from Flynn Construction, my former employer.
Right.
I worked for Flynn Construction for years, and so Roy and Michael were doing the Liam Miller game against Celtic, Manchester United against Celtic, and of course I was given the task of writing the song Liam Miller for the game, which was played on 88. The song in the match was shown and played on 88 TV stations worldwide. I waived my royalty payments and donated my royalties to the Liam Miller Trust Fund. I didn't claim the monies. I spoke to Patrick Kinsella. He's the CEO of Virgin Media Ireland, and I spoke to him on the phone, and he just needed to clear a few things up with me that I was given. That was my music, and you could sue somebody for doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he was just making sure that we were on the same wave, and I said, yeah, no problem. I said, look, just work away. And lo and behold, after the game, myself and my father were sitting in a pub called the Tower Bar.
Tower Bar?
The Tower Bar.
Tower?
Tower, yeah. A tower,
tower?
Church.
Right, okay, sorry.
Tower,
right,
yeah.
okay, right.
Tower, yeah. And we were having a pint, and next thing, on I came on the television, national television stations, and it was good to sit in the bar and watch something you created on national television, and it gave me an awful sense of pride and achievement that I had did that. Again, unsigned artist, working on my own, picking up a few contacts and working hard and trying to progress as a songwriter and get recognised as a serious player in the songwriting game. And it was a very, very proud moment for us. And again, that would have been Roy would have had an input in setting up that game. He organised the whole lot, and it's just ironic, I suppose, how again, like, it's like a journey, it's like a path that's meant to be, that you're just meant to do this, you were born to do this.
It's a fantastic story, mate, honestly, brilliant, really. And I mean, did obviously, when you originally sent the news to Roy you want to do the song, did you mention about who you were and said you were the kid that he brought over the Old Trafford and stuff, like way back then, or you already knew, did he?
He knew that. Yeah, he knew that.
Class.
He knew that. Well, like maybe he might. I mean, I know a lot of things regarding Roy and his charity work. I wouldn't say it on radio because there's a reason why people don't know about it. Is because he doesn't want people to know about it.
Sure, yeah. I'm sure that's the kind of guy he is. Like,
I know some really phenomenal stories that he has done for people. And nobody knows about it. The media don't know about it, but I've heard a few things down through the years. But he mightn't have remembered, off the top of his head. But I would think when it was explained to him who I was and who my family were, I would think he would have remembered him almost immediately who the kid was.
Yep. Right, so listen, we've been on for near an hour here, believe it or not, mates. Normally these interviews last about half an hour, but sure, listen, I'm going to run on today because I'm not doing nothing, so there's no hurry to get things finished up. So normally what we do is...
Have we still got listeners?
Oh, well, there's a few here, don't worry. I can still see the live views here on YouTube and Facebook. There's still a few people here, so just don't worry listening. But I find with my viewership, a lot of people sort of like, when it's live, a lot of them listen afterwards, because you always see on the YouTube stream, like every hour it goes up and up and up and up. No people have go back to rewatch it. Obviously if they can't watch it when it's live, they'll go and listen back to it again. So I have that there. But obviously what we'll always try and do is when we get the guests in, we do like to be sort of 10 question quick fire round, right? So it's only like, it's nothing serious, no, I mean, it's just a bit of crack. So basically what I'll sort of ask you, like I'll give you like 10 questions, and there's 2 answers to each question. Obviously you give me one answer and then elaborate a wee bit on each, but so it's nothing too serious, so don't be getting worried, right? So the first one, right, Mick or Dave?
Mick.
Right, so being a proud Cork man, you're going to say it, like? So, right, okay. Right, so Christy Moore or Christy Dignam?
Christy Moore.
I see. I would ask this, a lot of ones from the south, and I find it's like half and half. Even a lot of the Irish artists, but they'll say, Christy Dignam, I like this whole story and all whatever and stuff, and then but obviously a lot of other ones just Christy Moore all the way, like. So it is. I always put like a few foodie questions. So I'm not actually sure if you maybe have this in the southern end. So champ or mash?
Mash.
Oh, Jesus, there we go. That's the first mash in a while. So it is normally all champ. Right, obviously, so we've been like a Liverpool fan then. So like Rafa or Jurgen?
Jurgen.
Right, okay. So this one here, this is it might sound stupid, but this question has divided every single people we have had on, right? So tomato sauce, right? In the fridge or in the cupboard?
In the fridge.
Come on, mates. There we go. I think that's 2 up now for the fridge out of about 40 people have asked. So it's crazy. Some people get angry about it. What? You heathen. Putting tomato sauce in the fridge? What are you doing? Fuck's sake.
And when I'm finished here, I'm going to head to the supermarket and I'm going to get some cranberry sauce for my dinner.
What are you having, turkey or something today? What's it, cranberry sauce?
Man, I'm having boiled bacon, and cabbage and turnip.
Oh, that's a real dinner. Irish dinner at the house, so it is like. Jesus Christ.
Irish as you get, man.
Right. So, and I want to hear your opinion on it. Obviously, we'll ask you this one here, why you've sort of picked, right? So, because this is sort of aimed at the whole Saipan thing, right? So, Roy Keane or Mick McCarthy?
Oh, Roy Keane, because Mick McCarthy is a langer.
So see when that happened, right? Because I've had so many arguments with people, right? And I still know to this day there's bitterness and anger from so many people about that they're happening. I mean, can you remember like to the day when all this situation happened in Saipan, like with Keno?
I do remember. I remember it as if it was yesterday. I remember where I was. I mean, it's like 9/11 and that. Like you just know where you were. When Roy Keane, everybody knows where they were when you heard about the atrocity in 9/11, okay? Everybody in this world will remember where you were when you heard that. I know where I was, and I know where I was when I was told, did you hear the breaking news? Roy Keane is on his way home. And it was just devastation, like. Devastation.
I know.
He was the best player in the world.
Yep.
He was in his prime, and Ireland had the best player in the world playing for us. And he just went on his bike.
Still, it's just crazy to think of it now. Like, so it is. Right, Joe Duffy or Tom Duffy?
Joe Duffy, a friend of mine. I know Joe personally, so we go with Joe Duffy.
Right, okay. Right, this one maybe a bit of a tacky one there. We always ask all the guitarists, right? So Fender or Martin?
Martin.
Oh, right, that's a first. It's normally all Fender. You get the answers from people. So it is. So well, maybe some people say, Fender for a bass, but maybe like sort of Martin for acoustic stuff, like. Right, so...
Yeah, I use Martin, like.
Right.
I use Martin guitar.
Right, Wolfhound or Wolf Tones
Or the Wolf Tones.
all day long.
Although look, like, Wolfhound were a great band too, and I had a lot of their stuff down through the years, but I suppose going off who had more material and more gave us more songs would be the Wolf Tones.
Right, so last one, right, Eamon Ryan or Eamon Dunphy?
Sure, Eamon Dunphy. Eamon Dunphy.
Right, okay, so listen, before we wrap up here, somebody has posted in here, you probably know who this guy is here, on the Facebook feed, and he said earlier on, Tony O'Brien, and he says, ask Miles, is he up for a bit of overtime next week? He says, he'll know what I'm talking about. He says, tell Miles the doctor says hi.
The doctor, yeah, well, he calls himself the doctor, but I call him the dosser.
Big, like Tyson Fury, you big dosser. Fuck's sake. Right.
I know Tony. I work alongside Tony every day, and good supporter of mine. And Tony loves the ballads, and he loves the old Irish music. He loves the crack, and he's in the men's shed there playing music with the lads from the Easton's Hill Community Centre.
Yeah.
So hello, Tony, and thanks for the support, buddy, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Right, so before we're wrapping up here, I just want to sort of say, Miles, obviously when I first touched base with you a few weeks ago when I asked you about playing the Song for the Mothers song, so we started talking over Facebook, and you'd sort of say, I introduced myself to you, and you were like, oh, listen, I don't know, I already know who you are, I mean, I know about the show and all that, and I had to say, that sort of touched me a wee bit, because it was like, I know Martin Milan's up in Cork there, and he'd be a big supporter of the show, he's bought a lot of my merchandise and stuff and all as well, but I didn't really think that the show had reached away as far as Cork, you know. I know a lot of the lads, Paul and them from Limerick, and Clover are big supporters of the show as well, but it was great for you to say that basically you already knew and you're aware of the show and stuff, so pick up for that there, mate, much appreciated. So it is.
No problem.
So listen, obviously we played, before the interview started, we played the Sean Foster song. So we're going to, this one, next one I'm going to play, and I asked you could play it, obviously, and this one sort of touched my heart a bit. It's obviously called the Song for the Fallen Mothers, right? So tell us, obviously, when I played it originally a few weeks ago, the whole thing was in the news about obviously the Dáil voting for all these records to be locked away and stuff. So tell us, I'm trying to say briefly, because maybe in a few minutes or so, because we're going to try and fit a few more songs in, about how this whole song came about and about the girl that came to you and approached you.
Okay, so Pat Buckley is an elected representative, a TD here in Cork, East Cork, County Cork, based in Middleton.
Right.
So Pat was elected to Dáil Éireann, and he called me up and he asked me would I come to his. He was having a bit of a get together for his election team and for the people on the ground, and he wanted to have a celebration with his family, a small little get together. He asked me would I come along and sing a few songs. So I said no problem, because Pat Buckley is a really good guy.
Yep.
Does an awful lot of work. Long before he was a TD, Pat's been saving lives for years, getting out of his bed, voluntary suicide awareness. Let's Get Together Foundation. Pat founded. So I had a great time for Pat. So I went down and played the gig for Pat. Great night. And when I was finished, I was just exiting the stage, and a lady came over to me, who at the time was unknown to me, but now is a very good friend of mine. And she said, could I speak to you a minute? And I said, yeah, of course. So she introduced herself. She said, my name is Joan, and I've a campaign going regarding mother and baby homes, and where the children are and their files and what happened and the abuse and how people are not held accountable. And I mean, the list was endless. So she said, I'm wondering, like, we're trying to highlight my case and my plight and all the other women's cases and the children's cases, and a song, it would be good to get a song about it and might draw more attention. So at this stage now, the conversation was getting really in depth and kind of was tense in a way, and I felt that I had alcohol taken as well, and I I felt that it was inappropriate to, have alcohol in my system while speaking to this lady on such a delicate issue.
Yeah, but it's such a touchy subject. Yeah.
So I stopped her in her tracks and I just said, look, I said, I would prefer, I said, to be in a better state of mind and maybe sit down with you and we can go through this, like a fine tooth comb, and we can, hopefully come up with a song. And so she arranged, we swapped phone numbers and I gave her a ring, and about 2 weeks later I travelled down to East Cork to her home, and we sat there for about 4 or 5 hours, and there was, I remember driving back to Cork City and just saying to myself, what in the name of God am I just after listening to?
Yep, sure it was heartbreaking, man.
This was just horrific. Like, this stuff was just, you couldn't imagine people who say they represented God carrying out such evil and terrible acts on these young girls and young children, and the stories I was told, it was just, sometimes I wanted to just say, please stop, don't tell me anymore. My head was absolutely fried for a couple of weeks afterwards from thinking about what I was told. So went home and looked at the notes and what we spoke about. I must have had about 18 pages of writing that I extracted from the conversation we had and the meeting we had. And anyway, one evening, I was tinkering around with the guitar. I was in the room on my own. I was trying to come up with a melody, and I was trying to find a way into the song. And the words, "Oh, I beg Jesus and Mary to let me keep my baby, and when you give him back, if I can go into masses, and this is what you told me." And that's what they used to say to the girls, like, I have this information firsthand from the horse's mouth. And they used to say, we'll give you back your child if you keep living the way we want you to live. Go to mass and confession. And, when in fact, they were the people who should have been going to confession. Do you know what I mean? But those lines came into my head, and once I had a start and the chorus, I walked away. So I had the song wrote after I broke those lines and got them. I suppose I wrote the song in about 2 hours afterwards, because I felt so strongly about it. And as I said to you earlier on about visualising things in my mind, I had all this horrific torture and an image painted of a young Joan getting whipped and made cut grass with the scissors on her knees, cutting the lawn with the scissors, and getting the long rosary beads that would hang off the robe. Yep. They were kind of really heavy, with a big metal cross in them. They would whip the girls, lash their backs while they were scrubbing the floor or cutting the grass with the scissors or something like that. They lashed them across their skin with the beads, and the heavy cross would mark the skin of the girls' backs and their legs and stuff. And it was just horrible information, really, to listen to,
It's just disgusting. So, you think back, and obviously I done a whole lot of reading up since that morning I spoke to you. Before I done the show, before I played the song, I watched a few documentaries on YouTube on the whole situation of all them sort of mother and baby homes. And as I say, I would bring a tear to a glass eye, listening to what them women went through. It's just even more worse now that the state is trying to cover it up. It's just disgusting. So it is
there was somebody. I reckon, right? I reckon that this goes way beyond. It's right into the depth of political parties, senior figures in political parties that are existing in Ireland today, and this dynasty we have that the people of Ireland actually need to eradicate these dynasties, these families that their fathers and their grandfathers, and they're all in political positions. It's like, pass the book, sure, and we'll keep screwing Ireland, sure, and we make a bigger balls of it than our grandfather did. And I reckon the reason this is banished is because it's going to expose a lot of political groups and families that had a hand in this, right into, I reckon, all sorts of institutions in Ireland, from law enforcement right through. I reckon it'll expose, and it'll just get out of control, I'd say, and that's why it's been hidden, because in 30 years these people more than likely will be dead.
Yep.
And yeah, anybody that could be held accountable will be gone.
Well, I think it's maybe looking like now that they're going to have to backtrack and maybe release these documents that they're trying to hide, because there has been a lot of pressure put on them. Nice for us in the public.
Yeah. So I think that from listening to Joan recently, I think that now you're only allowed to get your own personal file.
Right. Okay. Right.
You're not. You can't access under the Freedom Act. I don't think you can't access these files and read them for yourself. You can only request your own personal file, and you will probably receive it. But
I'm sure they'll probably make it hard for people as well, so they'll all like to do it.
Yeah, I think that's the way it's going to go, and that's the way it's going to work. I think they'll get their own personal file, but making these files public knowledge where anybody can read the files and maybe end up in a tribunal or whatever, that's not going to happen now. You'll be given your personal file and you'll be told away with you. And that'll be the end of it, and nobody will be held accountable for anything at all. If people they're going to get away with it. And it's simple as that. That's what it looks like.
Well, Miles, we're going to wrap it up here, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure, honestly. That's why I've kept this on for so long. I think we've been talking for an hour and 10 minutes, to be honest. And I wouldn't want to try and rush through this. No means it's been great having you on, somebody of sort of your stature. So it is like to come on here. And that's why I want to try and get sort of, I know other shows may get guests on just to come in, talk shit and promote their album. That's not what I want to do, I want to bring people on. That's why a lot of people always comment and they'll go, it's great to hear people talking about their own songs and about the stories of why they've written these songs. And I think you have to give people the time and space to do it, And I'd say that's why I've sort of went on for so long today. But it's been fantastic.
I appreciate the platform. Thanks for giving me the platform. And, before you go, I wrote a song years ago called Belfast Girl, right? And it was about a young romance I had when I was a young fella over in Spain. Right. I had a girlfriend from the Falls Road in Belfast for 2 weeks, and she came to Cork actually once, and then I never saw her again. But so look, basically what I'm getting at is I'm looking once I get my new album on the road, right, it's ready to go. I can't tour with it and I can't launch it at the moment. But when this finally blows over, I'm hoping to tour and play in Dublin, Belfast, Derry and Armagh, and down to Limerick.
Fantastic.
Into Kerry and back to Cork, and wrap it up, a little Irish tour. So anybody that was interested, and keep an eye out there for me when I come to Belfast and Derry. Your support would be greatly appreciated.
If you are, mate, don't worry, I'll be there, so we'll make it, get the meet and get a pint or something, so also, definitely.
Of course we will, of course.
So listen, Miles, thank you very much, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure this afternoon having you on. So we're going to finish up here. Obviously, folks, we're not to finish here at 4 o'clock, but we're out long for an hour, half an hour or so today. There's no major hurry. So this is Miles Gaffney with Song for the Fallen Mothers. So Miles, cheers, mate, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Good man.
God bless you. God bless you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Right, folks, so that was Miles there. Fantastic having them on the show, so it was. Right, so we're going to do this here song. We played this here a few weeks ago, obviously when it was in the media, about the government trying to cover up about these files being locked away. And this, obviously, Miles spoke there about this song. He went and spoke to one of these women who was in one of the homes in County Cork. So, it's a song for the fallen mothers from Miles Gaffney. Folks, hope you enjoy it.
The door of my ambition, my dignity, identity. They stole my only possessions, in their eyes burned Satan's flame. You're to shame, you've yourself to blame. Mother superior deep from a frame, stay grazing me, my victim fictitious name. Welcome to your hell on earth, for the fallen mothers of the church. We are nothing, you're only dirt. I will sell your baby when you give birth. So I beg Jesus, Mary, would you let me keep my baby? Can I have him back if I keep going to mass? Isn't this what you told me? As I scrubbed down on my hands and knees, and you strip my flesh with your rosary beads. Did the blind eyes, powers to be, what a price to pay for a pregnancy. Infants screaming in distress, snatched straight from their mother's breast, masquerading brides of Christ. Under newborn wrist they slapped the price. Some little angels weren't saved, their mothers kept as slaves. Nobody knows their names, they're buried in shallow graves. Suffer in silence, not even a whisper. Never forget your demonic sisters. Always remember you're the sinner as you cut the grass with your paper scissors. So I beg Jesus and Mary, won't you let me keep my baby? Can I have him back if I keep going to mass? Isn't this what you told me? As I scrubbed down on my hands and knees, and you stripped my flesh with your rosary beads. In the blind eyes of the powers to be, what a price to pay for a pregnancy. Stand to vivo, see some walls. Babies cries, they haunt the halls. They haunt the halls.
There we go, folks. Our face. That was the great Miles Gaffney with Song for the Fallen Mothers. So it is fantastic, folks. Just great comments coming through here, basically from all the people listening. Obviously, we're well over the day, but who cares? We're not stuck to any time slot or anything. So there you go. Right, so Slim McCune, it's been great listening to Miles today. Peter O'Connell, yep, and Clover and Limerick there, thanks for Miles for a fantastic interview. Paul Vincent, great interview, lads, cheers. Marley Heaney, brilliant interview. I could listen to Miles all day. He has great stories to tell, very interesting. And I just got a message through here as well. So that from, obviously, you do these here, folks, and you tell the stories, and then people get listening and they send you. So I got a PM there to the page from a guy, Eddie McDermott, and he's just sent me a picture there, and he says the lady in the song that at their song just played, their Song for the Fallen Mothers, is his mother, Joan. So obviously she's sitting, lady sitting here is Joan, my mother, with her son, my brother, who is taken from her at the home that was stripped top. Oh, that's fantastic. Eddie, thanks for sending me out there. That's really a great. So basically, they sent me a photograph here of, obviously, there's a picture with him and his ma, and I think it's his sister. but this guy as well, the other guy is his brother, who was taken from Joan whilst in this home, and obviously they've reunited since this happened. That's great. Honestly, Ellie, thank you very much for sending me. That's really made my day, so it has. Thank you very much. Right, and a few people are on YouTube, still some people listening. Justin McQuillan, great tune there. Michael Bolton, great interview, Ro, and it was always a great show. Cheers. Steph McNally, great chat. It flew by. So, folks, a few people somebody asked me in our PM there, listen, how can I donate? So, folks, listen, this isn't a begging bowl mentality here, but the thing is, obviously, if anyone's want to throw me a wee something in PayPal, it'll be much appreciated. So, there's a link there. Obviously, paypal.me/DJ Rose Show. So if anything, give anything, it'll help towards basically the show running, and obviously because I'm not working, doing the DJ at the minute because of this whole COVID malarkey. It will help as well towards throwing a few quid in my pocket, which would be much appreciated. So if you like what you're hearing on the show, throw us a wee tip, and it would be much appreciated, folks. Right, so what I want to get, I'm going to do 2 more songs before we finish up. So I'll wrap up for 4:30. But what I do want to do, folks, first before I finish the show is, I just see the comments are flying in for a post I put up on my own personal Facebook page earlier on, and I'm getting a bit of grief for it. So I'm going to let you know what it was I put up. So basically, before the Celtic match started earlier on, there was a picture obviously showing them Neil Lennon doing an interview, and he's wearing a poppy on his jacket, right? So I seen all the comments, scumbag he be, he's not an Irish man, blah blah, how dare he, he's insulted all us, blah 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 blah, all this here, right? And what I put on my personal page, right? So it's my personal opinion, right? I says, Jesus, some people are never happy. Any excuse to have a dig. We have bigger fish to fry right now on the pitch. And at the minute, Lenny is doing a good job frying them. It's basically we're playing Motherwell at the minute. We're winning 1-0. Right? If he wants to wear a poppy, it's his own personal choice. For fuck's sake. I'm glad that the club once again have went against the trend and not made the team wear them on their shirts as a collective, as a mark of respect for the fans. Get a grip, lads. Fuck's sake. Starting to sound like Jimmy Bryson, some of yous. And of course, a lot of good friends of mine have all commented on, and I haven't read them all, because a lot of them come through while the show was on. And I'll respect people's opinions, folks, but I think what the main thing is a lot of people are saying is basically about Lenny. Why is he weren't? He's insulted all the fans and stuff, so he has, how dare he, blah blah blah, how he's an Irish man. But maybe my personal thing is, I think he's been not made to wear it, but asked by the board, listen, look, obviously the team isn't going to wear it, when we come under a bit of pressure from the media and stuff, would you just put this on you? And to me, I don't think Neil Lennon will be a Republican as such, as James McLean definitely would be. So he's probably went, listen, for a quiet life. But then again, maybe look at the other hand. He's obviously seen the way he's been treated this week, shamefully, by a lot of our own fans, so he has. And I think he's went, it's a big, more or less, big fuck you, this isn't what it is. And I'm hoping that's not what happened, because it'd be quite annoyed if it was. It'd be very petty if it was. But he'd be well in his rights to do something out there, because the way Lenny has been treated this week by our own fans, folks. And because it's a lot of the ones that have basically been giving them grief and slobbering and shouting at him, are ones that maybe aren't old enough to remember the bad times we sort of had as Celtic supporters, when Rangers run us ragged and won everything year after year after year after year, when they were on the verge of doing 10 in a row, and obviously we went in and stopped it. And now we're on the verge of doing 10 in a row. And folks, it still can't happen. As I'm going to maintain, there's no other person I would like to see doing that there than Lenny lifting that there trophy at the end of the season. So isn't. But and just before we do the next 2 songs, we'll finish up. Let's go check out the rest of these comments here on the Facebook stream. So we have the show going live here on my own personal Facebook page, and I've got it streamed to the podcast page as well, so you can share it. So I think that's all up to date. So it is. Right, so obviously I said last night on the notification where we're going to feature 2 albums as well today. So the first part of the show was done. What song did we do from Rebel Roots? We played Avila's End Across McLean. So go to this one for a good friend Stephen Finlay over in Coatbridge, and of course for his. And is it Stephen who's Coatbridge or Glasgow? Maybe Glasgow, I'm not sure. But yeah, for his wee woman Grace. So we're going to play Grace, and this is from number 9 or number 8. So we're going to do the Grace from Jared and Stick's new album, Rebel Roots, the Lockdown Sessions, raw and uncut. So we're going to do two more songs here, and then we'll wrap it up here, folks. So this is for Stephen Finlay and his wee woman Grace, and for everybody else, folks, who's still listening this afternoon, much appreciated. This is Grace by Rebel Roots.
as we gather in the chapel here in old Kilmainham jail. I'll think about these past few weeks. Oh, will they say we failed in our school days? They have taught us we must long for liberty. But all I want in this dark place is to have you here with me. Oh, grace, just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. They'll take me out at dawn and I will die. With all my love, I'll place this wedding ring upon your finger. There won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. I know it's hard for you, my love, to ever understand the love I have for these brave men, the love for my great land. But when Padre called me to his side down in the GPO, I had to leave my own sick bed. To him I had to go. Oh, grace, just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. They'll take me out at dawn and I will die. So with all my love, I'll place this wedding ring upon your finger. There won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. And as the dawn is breaking, my heart is breaking too. On this grey morn, as I walk out, my thoughts will be with you. So I'll write some words upon the wall, so everyone will know I loved so much that I could see his blood upon the rose. Oh, grace, just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. They'll take me out at dawn and I will die. So with all my love, I'll place this wedding ring upon your finger. There won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. Oh, grace, just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. They'll take me out at dawn and I will die. With all my love, I'll place this wedding ring upon your finger. There won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. No, there won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye.
Yeah, it's Rebel Roots here for you folks with the Ballad of Grace. But there's Jerk Leggin and Eamon Stick Stockerty with their band, their Rebel Roots. That's from their new album. A sales go featured today. The Lockdown Sessions live, raw and uncut. So folks, you want a copy of this album, get yourself onto Facebook, check out Jerk Leggin or Rebel Roots or Eamon as well, and they'll get you a copy posted out, so they will. Marty Heaney here, Lennon's the man to win the 10. Hail, hail. Folks, I'm just reading through these bloody comments. As I mentioned there about that post I put earlier on about Nanny wearing a poppy, and I can understand. I mean, people are aggrieved for some reason or other. I mean, but listen, that's my opinion. And like, there's no need to be coming and getting nasty about things, about writing, but so some of the comments from some people, like, I come to expect, and it just goes over my head because their opinion doesn't really bother me. As such, but other ones there, I do value their opinion, and I make engaging this here later on once the show's finished. I'm not ignoring you, lads. Right, so we're going to finish up the last song of the day, folks, again. And to see just the wee thing at the front, if you can, phone me a wee donation if you can towards the show. Much appreciated, folks. There have been lots over the last 2 weeks. There's definitely a few in the day as well, I can see. So thank you to all of you. So, folks, yep. PayPal.me/DJ Row Show. If you want to throw something into the wee PayPal bucket, it will be much appreciated. Right, so this is the last song. Of course, we're going to feature Krista's album as well today. And Hugh O'Neill, it said, ask Krista, could I love her? I'm not sure if he meant that there to come out like that there, but from her album, From the Streets of Free Derry, it's a fantastic album, folks. Featuring Kieran Davenport on the mandolin, and of course Chris Cruikshank on the bass and whistles. So this is one of the tunes in the album, Death Before Revenge, of course, song from Panger Band and Jerry Breslin. To finish things off today, folks, we're a half an hour over, but sure, who cares? We're going to be maybe 40 minutes over by the time this song's finished, but sure, it's a live show, and we're in no hurry today. So this is Death Before Revenge by Krista Coyle, folks. Here we go.
Call me what you will, oh, and tell me what they say, that tomorrow brings a new wind and the rain has gone away. For within these walls and I see the sun as it shines over the hill, shining into those valleys and amongst the daffodils. They are 10 more determined reasons for to break out of this hell. Happy when this war is over and I see your face again. Then I'll tell you of the warriors who put death before revenge. O'Hara, Hughes, McCreashan, Sands, Doherty and Lynch, McDonnell, Herson, Michael, we divine, forever in our minds.
Krista, if you're still listening, honestly, love, absolutely fantastic. That they're, I remember when we did have you on the show way back to the old Rebel Sundays, and which I'm glad to get you back on, because that day was a total disaster. I think we got maybe 5 minutes talking to you, and I got cut off but 4 times mid-show. Facebook was just having none of it that day. But I remember we're talking, asking you about had you an album coming out, and you were saying, it's in the pipeline, looking about songs and all, and this is the finished product, and honestly, love, just fantastic. Fair play to you. You should be very proud of yourself. Hugh O'Neill, tell her I love her. There you go, Krista, you got a few fans today. So folks, again, thanks very much, and then once again, if you can throw something into the PayPal, please do. There's a wee link there on Facebook for it, and on YouTube here as well. Just click on paypal.me/DJ Rose Show. You can throw something in the bucket, that'd be much appreciated. So I'm going to finish up as usual. I'm back next Sunday. So folks, we're not going to do a guest next week. It's going to be all music for 2 hours next week, maybe a bit longer. But obviously we've had a guest follow on the last few weeks, plus today's was an extra long interview. So we'll sort of give you a few more guests planned there over the next few weeks. There are lined up and all, but next week we're going to go just all music for 2 hours of all Reb tunes. You may be glad to hear. Although nobody ever complains about the interviews, all I see is silence when they're on, and as soon as the interviews are finished, I just see all these great comments from people saying how much they enjoyed it and all. So obviously doing something right. So yep, go finish up as usual with the anthem, folks. This is Around the Vein from Erog, live in the Brazen Head. So I'll see you all next Sunday, folks. Thank you very much for the support today, for all tuning in once again. Cheers. Chuck your la.
Safi Alligator, Queens are slow, her tender Rannicum, they butch face hair, Shantir, a shinshir pasta, the akbar, Pantera, not and got I in Sabarwell, they got their kill on was no sill, they gone their scrape, they labot nabile, Charlotte cannon around the vein.
You've been listening to Rebel Podcast of Ruairí Carson. To listen to this and past episodes again, and to also check out future episodes, keep an eye on our official SoundCloud page. We're also available on all social media outlets. Just search Rebel Podcast. Bhí si bh géisteach an sin leis an fád cruailí Rebel le Ruairí Carson. Le héisteach le seo agus hir hagran a ríis, agus na hagran atá le teach, caisúil siúificail sugin SoundCloud, agus táid fáil gach cinneal ardan na main thuaisiilta. Ní mór ditch ach fád cruailí Rebel a curda.